Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Here we are again. Slight change of schedule. Andy couldn't make it, unfortunately, but stepping in to his shoes is the one and only Jesper Munk. Lloyd.
Love that guy.
two of Berlin's most splendid musicians, right here, live from their isolation zones. How are you guys?
Holding up all right. I mean, I was thinking about is it a good idea to play April Fools? And I think I got the sense that no one's really into it today. You know, it's been enough.
It's past 12 o'clock anyway.
Yeah. All right. Is that the rule? I didn't know.
I thought it was. Maybe that was just in France.
All right.
I probably missed like the last 5 April Fools then. But yeah, crazy. I saw a pretty good April Fools by Viva Con Agua, who posted something. Viva Con Agua buys Nestle through biggest crowdfunding campaign.
Really, that's a pretty good one.
April drools. Utopia. Yeah.
Water is not a human right. Remember.
I remember.
That's what the CEO of Nestle said.
Oh, Jesus
nice guy,
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what have you guys been doing for the last 2 weeks or so?
Well, I've actually somehow been a bit busy with a job. My last job, in fact. No more jobs after this, but video editing, making a music video.
Oh, cool.
For Vril, techno artist.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty much the deadline day today, so I'm just finishing it up now.
Cool.
As we speak.
Amazing. And what's the vibe? Is this the lots of found footage stuff? Is that what you were telling me a couple of weeks ago? Is that what this one?
Yeah, it's found footage. Some footage I shot with him in his studio in Hanover, and a few things like visual effects, animation stuff. So a mix of things. It's a bit of a collage, I suppose.
Okay. How does it work with found footage? Like, what are you? If you're going to kind of mangle it and manipulate it into something new, then is it just? What are the kind of copyright laws and stuff with that sort of thing? Or do you? Or do you know what? Should we move on to Jesper? Jesper, what have you been up to now?
Grimwood.
We'll come back to it, Lewis. Just do some subtle googling. Like, we can't see your hands. You can just like.
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm doing down here.
I've been somehow like the whole quarantine vibes got me a lot more creative than before. I felt a bit bad about that. Somehow, like, you need that sort of limitation to actually lock yourself in and do some stuff. But it was really nice. Then the 8-track broke. That's where it normally is, where the light is.
Oh yeah.
Bit sad, but it's going to be ready in a few. And so now I'm just trying to build useful stuff for the balcony and somehow, I don't know, force myself to read, which is not really happening at the moment. But yeah, writing a lot. I'm kind of like, the limitation is helping me to somehow go into output mode. But yeah.
Yeah, but I saw an interesting article on this. Talking about people posting like productivity porn, and how much they're getting done. When the crisis is happening, and they're going to smash it, going to come out on the winning end, and how this is kind of the wrong way of thinking about it, because it's like a global crisis that is, in a sense, here to stay. Which I think is also a healthy way to look at it. So I think it's kind of normal that some, people, like you said, you were knocked back by the 8-track, like not working, or I was knocked back by like, losing the job that I was counting on and stuff like that. But I think it's, it's only naturally going to be that way to start with,
Yeah.
Just take some adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I felt a little bit like stupid that it needs this sort of this this size of crisis to bring me, in like kind of feels ridiculous. But I believe like a philosophy behind it that I think is important right now is to give people something for free in times of crisis instead of building up like insane repertoire to then, go into post-corona time, like extract wealth.
Absolutely. I think it's like giving a new perspective on things. I think it's, to me, this seems a lot more real than like a daily life in hyper-capitalism, pretending like everything's going to be fine,
Yeah.
And and this like pressure of like bigger, better, more all the time, whilst you're, simultaneously reading headlines saying that the world is like, on the brink of collapse kind of thing. And everyone's kind of like, yeah, we know that, but, we've got to continue like this. It's just, that's, in a way, that's way more crazy to me.
Yeah. That was Anton, by the way. Sorry. Just try to go. Yeah. No, totally. It feels a lot more real somehow this time. Yeah. Hopefully,
yes, I think it's an opportunity to like do, also just focus on the things that really matter to you. I think.
Yeah.
Totally. What about?
Me?
Yeah. What about you?
I guess I've just calmly started focusing more on doing this streaming thing, which sort of fortunately or whatever I was already really into, and I was already doing it, and this.
It was good timing. Yeah. Did you have some secret info about the imminent collapse?
No, but I mean, I guess like everyone, I have been feeling for years like how can this all just carry on? Like it just, it feels like we've been heading towards this, pressure thing. Like I don't know, something cataclysmic will happen eventually. Feels like this is actually kind of on the more kind of chilled end of what could happen, in some.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's like quite a soft warning somehow.
Yeah, but no, you know me, you guys. I'm pretty happy just existing in my little cave. This is, like I said lots of times, that this is pretty much just normal for me. It's all my jobs were cancelled, so that sucks. But yeah, I don't know. It's like once the pressure's off, or once it gets so kind of desperate that you basically just need to kind of minimize everything, and if you know that if you start thinking about it too much, then you're just going to possibly have a panic attack or something. I mean, everyone's in the same boat, and it's a good time to learn how little you can get by with and stuff. I guess.
Yeah.
And also, what's important out of the things that you, or the people that you know, the things that you do. What's the central part? Like, what sticks?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now I forgot what I wanted to say. It's good to be able to filter which are the things that I do daily are distraction or are part of my mechanisms to procrastinate, or which are things that I need essentially, because just after a while, I don't know, like obviously the void also gets a bit louder in times like these when you can't go out and you can't sort of like activate these mechanisms that you normally activate with sort of meeting friends or going out or resetting for an evening. Maybe, you know, some get shit-faced, some, you know, meditate or whatever, but it's it's really interesting. It's a full-on like hopefully a self-reflecting time, not only for people that are already too much self-reflecting, but actually, you know, like for a broader mainstream.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
good time
I
to,
hope so
in a way,
too.
it's a good time for artists, because for the first time, probably in most artists' lives, the idea of the idea of promotion and kind of career stuff has to kind of pause for a second, and it has to become just about making art for the sake of making the art, you know. And that's what I'm enjoying, like this kind of relief of okay, I can't get any bookings, I can't do anything, so I just have to sit and decide what it is I'm going to do without really thinking too much about you know, anything more than that, really. Like just makes everything quite simple. But then at the same time, social media suddenly becomes quite important as well, I guess, right now. Or I don't know. Sorry, I'm not really making much sense. Just gibbering.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think it is, well, like Jasper said, it's always a good time for self-reflection, or to just discover something about your patterns or the way that you work, because you can't, you specifically can't run away from it, really, if you're stuck inside all the time. So it's good opportunity to come to terms with that. And as for making art, I think it's also maybe because you have that extra time and space for reflection, and you can strip it down and see what's more important without this kind of pressure to get it out there, or to
the deadline thing, like the deadlines are all gone really now. It's kind of a good feeling.
Which is good, because it was taking ages to finish the next flat, and I've almost finished it, but I'm still gonna finish. I know I've got some time now, and no pressure.
And so, what about your band, which you have together, which is a fairly new thing, and it seems like that was just sort of like blossoming into something just as this all happened. So what are how are you managing to continue that momentum?
Do you want to elaborate? It was a bit of a shame that we had a show on the 26th of March, or planned to have a show on the 26th of March in 8mm, which was a fun sort of like kickoff. We recorded 4 tracks before they are sent to mastering right now, and it felt a little bit like a little like stop sign in the middle of the sort of like, okay, let's kick this off. But at the same time, we also did like some streaming. We did a little streaming concert in a gallery with an artist together, and we'll continue doing streaming stuff for other artists. It feels half-half. It feels like it is kicked off, and there are possibilities over the socials and the internet, but the physical reward, the physical sensation of kicking it off on the 26th is obviously missing now.
Yeah, totally. I think we just really want to get our recordings out now, because we've been sitting on them for a while, like unmastered for a while. We're mixing them for a while, and yeah, we just really want to share them with everyone, basically, so that, you know, people can listen to the songs ready for when we can play again, which is God knows when. But yeah, we're doing a couple of streams and things, and I think we were just hoping to take the time to somehow make a video without meeting up or seeing other people, and working on new material as well.
Yeah, I really want to try and get to the bottom. Probably after this, I'm going to spend a couple of hours looking into this. Some of these like live jamming apps or whatever. Apparently, like like almost zero latency, so you can jam over the internet with other people.
Sounds like something Berlin internet would not deal with.
You could be right there.
Maybe with that sweet sound
Shit.
in the 5G.
Yeah, exactly.
Burns inside.
yeah. Like a fried egg out of your liver.
It'd be interesting to try that. I mean, even if there is a little bit of latency, I don't know. My gut says it would be quite a strange experience and possibly a bit too weird, or a bit too off-putting or something. But I want to try it with Tobias, with this ATAP project that we started. It's just the two of us, and all of the songs evolve from like him on the drum machine or something, or on drums, and me on some keyboards, and we're just kind of noodling around between each other, and then something just starts happening. And so in a way it's nice because it's so simple, and it always ends up, we always get something just between the two of us, but it really does need us to be playing off of each other. If I could figure that out, it would be a really good outlet.
It's also cool to pass tracks back and forth and just like, work on tracks like that. Like, make a part, send it over, whatever. I mean, quite a lot of people are already doing that, right? Some people got like bands across continents and.
I guess you're saying that it evolves on the drum machine as well as on the keyboards in that live moment, rather than having sort of one box is one part, and the next, instead of having classical arrangements, you're searching for like this sort of live journey to happen.
Yeah. I mean, but also what Lewis is saying is that totally works too, doesn't it? Just people reinterpreting stuff at their leisure and then passing it on.
Yeah, or like another. I was talking to Flo and Ella, who recorded our last album, and they were talking about creative techniques that you can use just to like for songwriting and stuff. One I found quite interesting was they're doing it collaboratively with people, and you would basically, the method would be choosing a key. I think it was choosing a key and choosing you do it on a click, and a certain amount of time, say it's 5 minutes or something, and you basically kind of jam in that key or that tempo if it's rhythm for that amount of time, and you record it, and then each person does that for each instrument, and then you add them together afterwards, but you don't ever listen to any of the other tracks while you do it, so you can see like a bunch of you come up with unexpected combinations basically.
Right.
And then maybe you'll take one. It'll be a lot of garbage, obviously, but like maybe one part will be like, "Oh, this is a cool part," and then you can start making something out of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, probably during this time, everyone's going to get to experiment like they never thought they could before, and wind up with mountains and mountains of like. What the hell is this shit? But there'll be some very interesting little gems sitting on the top, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that kind of like that. Um, if it also feels like maybe part of like the more successful creative process right now is that you do lose a bunch of ego when the problem is somehow like global and is affecting the whole organism of the human race. Then the ego gets removed a bit and you become a bit crazier or a bit like less attached and a bit, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what we should all be doing anyway. So it's in a way it helps with that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a positive influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I guess it's probably too early to really know what's going to come out of all this.
Yeah, we're all going to start going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a couple of people that already got their compensation from the Berlin thing, from the QIT thing. They got like the money in the next day and stuff. So
I did.
this,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I also got the conversation, and that's great because I lost my jobs, which are going to carry me through the next few months. So that takes a lot of pressure off.
Okay. I'm going to check my bank account.
Yeah.
I might also have something. It would help a lot. Like, removing pressure and ego is like could be real gold for the for the sort of post-corona phase, where maybe some more honest or some more realistic or more like I don't know, more valuable.
Totally. I mean, I think I say this every episode, but I'm really interested in the fact that the old machine is just gone. You know, that the kind of celebrity machine, that whole pop, the pop machine. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I never really paid attention anyway, but I was always aware of its presence. But it feels like it's just gone. You know, like the film industry is just paused. Everything's just stopped, and so now it's like, okay, now is the opportunity to make something which will have an audience because people aren't distracted by all that stuff at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do something different to that. And I mean, I'm not saying that I know how to do it, but I think I'm hoping that we're going to end up with a kind of much cooler version of that machine when it does start up again. People will realise, oh yeah, that was actually pretty shallow. I can't even remember what I was into 3 months ago or 6 months ago, whatever it's going to be. And
yeah, I think that model is dying anyway. It's just like it's something that a lot of people hang on to, or it's hard to know. I think people don't know an alternative or something. The same way I think in the back of our minds, a lot of us hang on to this kind of idea of, sort of limitless, consumerist life that they have from like the American 50s or 60s or something. This kind of boomer mentality, and I think it has already died. It's already dead in a sense, but we don't. We all need to come to terms with accept it, sort of, or kind of see the alternative, or actually embrace the reality somehow. But it's obviously not easy because we've all, the whole world has watched Hollywood their whole life, But yeah, it's a bit like the Fight Club, isn't it? We're all growing up to find out that we're not rock stars and all that shit, and we're all very, very pissed off. I can't remember the exact line, but yeah, it's a good time for Fight Club. We should watch that again.
The game that we've all been playing, as musicians, trying to kind of get to this point, this game we've been playing our whole lives, that arena that game's played turns out to be incredibly fragile and fickle, and kind of, it's just vanished. So that's what I'm feeling anyway. Like, okay, I don't think I need to play that game anymore. Actually, it's just, it was always just an illusion.
It was
always just an illusion, yeah.
Maybe it's going to be more like the Andy Warhol's, like everyone's famous for 15 minutes kind of thing. I think there's something in that.
Where is the centralized? It's funny, isn't it? Like we're all still.
I think it's decentralized. That's the thing. Like,
But where was it centralized before?
I really don't know how does it. Yeah.
It's kind of.
I don't know.
We're all just still looking at our computers the whole time, but somehow it feels like the kind of the core has just melted away, and somehow it's open now, and I don't really get what's different. I guess maybe it's the kind of news that we're not seeing now. You know, all of that kind of sensationalist entertainment stuff. That's not really there anymore too much. Now it's just.
I think it's just
sensational graphs now instead.
It's just like it is kind of like it's like ever expanding into smaller niches, kind of like the universe expanding or something.
Yeah.
It seems to me, and it seems like even more and more apparent that there's like that that. Well, like I guess the way that the internet works kind of reflects that, but that your reality is like created subjectively by, whoever's observing it or living it, and I think it's just with music, because what we are like selling feelings or like offering feelings. I think it's just that. People just kind of flock to their niches. They kind of resonate with certain things, and it's just scattered like that. Yeah, I think I kind of lost my train of thought here.
But maybe out of this comes audiences that are more willing to support smaller, less glamorous, hyped up artists or whatever in their own little, I remember a friend of mine had a label in London, and he was a really smart guy actually, and I think he figured out that if you have 5,000 fans who all buy your records and you kind of look after them and stuff, that's a career. If you've got 5,000 fans, then you can have a decent career. And but I think before, there's always this thing like if you're not if you're not up there with the big guys, then it's not really a proper career or something. Everyone's still, even the people that are doing pretty well, that maybe they're not up there with those other guys, so they're not really kind of nailing it or whatever. And the whole society was always that kind of looking up at these idols type thing, whereas maybe now audiences will be a bit more up for keeping it on a kind of more realistic level and direct communication with the artists. And I don't know, God, losing my train of thought as well.
I can imagine that.
It also depends on a little bit like what's considered kind of a good way of dealing with supporting arts, or what's considered maybe even cool for some young people, like maybe there's a new status for supporting your local bands on Bandcamp and all this this more individual way of looking at your music. It should be your music. It shouldn't just be used to listening to that one radio station. They're now talking also about like a lot of like artist managers are now asking radio stations in Germany to play to play music from German artists, basically having a bigger percentage of their sort of local.
Interesting.
So at least you and something. How that works out, I don't know. But that might also bring it back a little bit if everyone supports that more sort of niche or individual way of looking at their music, then it could work out. I'm kind of holding back with big expectations at this moment, but it feels like a natural consequence of this might be that we also politically look at ourselves a bit more as one entity, as one organism that is really, you know, interrelated and really sort of needs just needing each other to survive. I don't know if that's possible at this point, but that would be great.
Hope so too.
Yeah. It's nice to have a period of time as well where you don't feel like you're missing out on stuff as well, you know. Does like the imaginary amazing party that's continuously been going on for the last 50 years that we haven't been invited to isn't happening. That's quite a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's true. Or all the events I'm interested in on Facebook, which I theoretically would like to go to, but I'm actually quite happy just to be at home right now. I know it's not the same, but everyone.
I still haven't been on any virtual museum visits. Really should get around to doing that.
That I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Or what? Like you can? Are they really like? Can you go on a tour?
I was in the foyer of, I think it was the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. I was in the foyer briefly, looking around, and I walked up the stairs and I saw a couple of paintings. But it's like a kind of like Google Street View. I don't know if Google did it, if they quickly did it when this all started, or whether they already, maybe it's always been there. But you can just walk around the museum and look at the paintings. It's cool.
For no money, or
I think so. I think that was the thing that they made them all free now. You know.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it's also cool that a few things are free now, like Ableton and Logic, free for 90 days.
Shit, I just spent like $300 on it like, a few months ago.
Really? Shit, man.
Like the big Ableton.
Yeah, Ableton Live 10.
What, but the top one, I've got, is it standard or suite? No.
Oh, maybe it's maybe it's the intro version. But it's still got a lot in it. I think the intro version is just missing like the sampler and I don't know, one of the other instruments.
Andrea is saying most were already there. I think maybe she's talking about the museums. There's a chat going. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can't see. But, it's a weird existence, but yeah. Well, what have you guys been? Have you found yourselves getting deeper into looking at other people's art at all, or like finding stuff to keep yourself feeling inspired? Like, what have you been doing, like in terms of consumption of art?
Definitely. I mean, I've been a bit stuck on Leonardo da Vinci somehow, because I wasn't really realizing how much the guy did, and how much was about war and technology as well in his life. So I just considered him more the anatomy guy, the guy that did, like opened up dead bodies and really looked into sort of muscle structures and nerve structures and stuff. But I'm a lot more receptive to other art without getting too much influence out of it. And I don't know where that comes from. Maybe I normally don't look at other art so much because I believe that somehow makes me, like gets into my stuff too directly or something. But that fear is gone.
Great, man. Your dad is saying hello. Hi, guys. Hope you're well. Gussie's there.
Lloyd or Rainer?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot to tell Lloyd. Should have said. Are you gonna post it somewhere? Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
send
It'll
it
be
on
on it'll be on the
to the
YouTube
rents.
channel and on the Facebook on my robot page. How about you, Lewis? What have you been listening to? Any recommendations for the listeners?
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, I've just been like cranking up the spits, and whenever I get frustrated with my shit. But otherwise, no, not so much. But it's just because I've been like, I kind of left this. So yeah, my I don't know. As I said, my job is like directing videos, editing, and I was editing this video, music video, which has to be
Yeah.
finished today. And I kind of classically left it a bit late, so I had to work day and night basically the last two weeks. So I haven't been leaving much time for listening to stuff, watching stuff, and reading, or mainly just being like doing some small exercises, abusing my eyes and just like staring at the screen for like 14 hours a day or whatever. And but I'm very much looking forward to having a bit more balance and checking up on all those safe posts and stuff that of new music and having some chill time.
Nina saying, "Woohoo! Thanks. I just downloaded Ableton." So nice.
Nice. Yeah.
I might want to check out Logic at some point, but I was so happy with that 8-track way of working.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I want my fucking 4-track back. Flo's got it. Now I can't go and get it now.
Yeah.
I need to ask you, Robbie. You've got because obviously there's also a little bit of a time for maybe making the home a bit more cozy or working at some. I wanted to make a shoe shelf and some stuff for the balcony, and you had this one side where you normally get your birch ply from. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, I would expect them to not be open. I don't really understand actually what the situation is in Germany with the construction industry. And I was thinking about it yesterday. I was sitting looking out of our nice view in our kitchen, and I could see all the cranes still moving, and I was thinking, okay, so all the property developers, business as usual, all the workmen are there building shit, and like, why is that? Why is that allowed? I mean,
yeah, how are they allowed to do
and
that?
I saw them just up the road here, the old casino. Happy the casino's closed, but there was a team of workmen putting in new windows the other day, and I asked them it's going to be a cafe, but I was kind of thinking, well, they're all just like jostling in these big windows together. I mean, like, how is that? I mean, maybe that's not allowed. I don't know, but so
yeah,
I'm not sure.
We want more videos though. Build videos. I want to see more, and I also want to ask you.
Well, I've got
some
two
tips
coming
about.
up. I've got one. I don't know if this is going to work. You're not going to see it, but hang on. I'm going to just switch here. There. I've got one with this feedback sign coming up, which you guys didn't see, but it was there. Are you back? Yeah. You'll have to take my word for it. I just flashed up. You know the buttons where the screen pops up with the
and I see
the studio or the robot machine that Vincent is operating.
It's called the session scoreboard now. That's the name I came up for it. So I've filmed all of that. Lewis, you've disappeared. What the hell? Are you still there? Yeah.
I'm still there. Yeah, I think my internet's just shit.
No, it's okay. That's good. And the phone, the talkback telephone volume thing. I'm going to do one on that too. Yeah,
nice. I really want to ask you some tips about building like a studio in a box that I've got an idea for, because I've got I've got the 4-track.
Oh, yeah,
well,
okay.
Flo's got it, but
A
yeah, but
mobile
it's like
tape studio.
Exactly, because it's pretty sweet 4-tracks, also like a 6-track mixer, but I wanted to kind of make it like a flight case where the little Scumbuck computer is in there, and the interface is all like plugged in, so it's like the 4-track is plugged into the computer, then the outs are going back in to the track, so you can use it any which way, like record on the 4-track, record all the tracks straight into the computer, play the 4 tracks or more tracks, into the 6 tracks, and then sub bust them down into the 4 tracks again and record them back. So you kind of got this loop set up, like whenever you need it to get the sound of the 4-track, but also use the mixer, and it's all in one box. That would be my dream.
You know that Ableton is free at the moment to download. Maybe that. Sorry, that was a joke, but obviously just. It was supposed to suggest that sounded very complicated. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask you another time.
Did you say Scumbuck? Did you say Scumbuck?
In like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my little ThinkPad.
Scumbuck.
It's my Scumbuck. Yeah, it's a Hackintosh. I put like Mac OS on it.
I thought that was really hard on laptops. Was it?
No, actually, the ThinkPads are like pretty easy to do it on. You just got to swap out the Wi-Fi card and get different RAM for it.
When did you? How old is it?
The computer or the
build? You had it for? I mean,
like 6 months or something. I think it's my music computer. I only use that for music.
Amazing.
And but it costs like 150 for the laptop.
Incredible.
And the parts, I don't know. Well, I got like a big SSD for it and stuff, but maybe another 150.
Huh?
Yeah, it's Mac, but it's like as fast as a MacBook. Like some things are not great on it, but the screen's a bit shit and stuff. But I mean, it's all right.
And you can exchange the parts yourself and stuff, and you're back on the whole I can open it up myself. And stuff, right?
Yeah, totally. But I might switch to Windows soon anyway, so I don't know if it's because all my like video stuff is like getting really annoying with Mac because the video cards are not supported.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you actually, like on this laptop. I mean, it's a pretty. It was like top of the range 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago. But when I use those Red Giant plugins on Premiere, it doesn't support my graphics card in the. So I'm not using my actual. I have this AMD graphics card in the laptop, and it's just not supported. Is that,
right?
I mean, what's the deal with Adobe not supporting? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it could be an Apple thing. Like I also had these problems last night when I was rendering my thing because I don't know about AMD, but I know that the NVIDIA graphics cards, they like not supported by Apple beyond the last version, which was sometime last year, I think, and maybe only in certain operating systems. I can't remember the details, but basically, like Apple are not like supporting NVIDIA cards, and so maybe it's only supported up to. I mix it up because I think the hardware can be supported up to High Sierra or something. Then the drivers are also not going to be supported anymore. I don't know.
I
It's
think
just
coming
super
out of this
annoying.
coronavirus times thing, I think Apple's going to be. I think it's going to be out. I think people are going to realise what is all this? What is this like fantasy land that we subscribe to with Apple shit? Like, get a PC, learn how it works, learn how to fix it yourself, you know. And the technology is so amazing.
Yeah.
Every time I have to call on help from the nerds around the corner, you know, it just blows my mind. People that just come and they can just really make, like, and they all use PCs because they can actually make stuff do what they want it to do. You know, like we're Apple people. We're all sort of a bit like crippled with all of the limitations that they put in just to keep it all really nice and friendly and all that shit. But the hardcore nerds, like, they can make anything do anything, and it's genuinely amazing, you know.
Yeah, I was actually looking at some videos about switching back from Mac to Windows last night, and it doesn't sound that bad actually. Like there's pretty because I think there was a bit of a weird period for Windows. I can't remember what the versions were called, but now like Windows 10, it looks kind of more like the older one, and it's a lot of the shortcuts and the things that you would miss in a Mac are actually like quite possible just with different shortcuts in Windows. I don't know. It's just like you gotta look at the sort of ethics of the company a bit more and stuff like that. I mean, and I don't think any tech companies really probably are saints, but like at what Apple charges for their shit is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it would be depending obviously on you, like the neighbor nerd that can just kind of switch the whole thing around is not really good for the company, so they just don't give you that freedom.
Yeah, that exclusiveness is just like super aggravating.
Yeah, it's this kind of selling a dream, selling this, you know, lifestyle bullshit thing.
Yeah. Hopefully that stuff's going to die out, but I'm not sure. Like, I think, like, as you said it before, Louis, this is like a subtle wake up call, in the grand scheme of things. This is not like the real sort of everyone lay down their bullshit, let's start this thing new. That's maybe not yet, but it's also not going to be the last time that we go through a crisis similar to this, probably. So, I mean, this is the beginning. to not sound too fucking pessimistic, but I believe that, you know, that stuff like this will somehow challenge society furthermore.
It is a challenge, totally, I think, and if you hang on to the old ways, somehow it's going to be painful. You know, it's going to be painful anyway, but I think you can also see the opportunity in it, not in an opportunistic way, but like just an opportunity for change, you know, first on a personal level and then on a wider scale, because it's quite clear everything needs to change anyway, you know. And why not start now, you know, before everything is fucked? You know?
I mean, you can definitely see that, like, keeping people at home, or, you know, being forced by something like a virus that is so invisible to the human eye and so sort of weirdly vague, and like this maybe even anxious feeling that is a bit globally about it, that people kind of like getting people to stay at home and sort of overthink stuff was definitely necessary. It's just, I mean, we've been talking about like the positive aspects for artists, but like at the same time, you hear a lot of people really struggling, obviously, and like there are still people dying, and there are some people that probably consider a different career after Corona than because of the likeliness of a crisis kind of sort of reappearing and stuff like this. Yeah. I mean, I'm really fucking happy that we're not in America right now, you know, like that's
so happy.
Wow. You know, like just having somebody like Merkel talk to the citizens instead of like, you know, Donald is a huge difference.
Yeah, we're very lucky here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I think we need to be like looking outside and at the people who are most vulnerable somehow. And I mean, first you need to take care of yourself at home and stuff, but hopefully having the extra time can also allow us to like look outside and see what we can change there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know. No, I agree. I'm very.
I wouldn't want to be in a refugee camp in Greece right now, for example.
But I think that's what makes it a little hard to get any kind of perspective somehow. Living here, I was thinking about it last night. I was in Penny and I was just looking around and I was thinking, like, Germans are just made for this. This is like, this is like, you know, Germany's like taking like incredible pride in nailing this. You know what I mean? I was just thinking, I was feeling that vibe. Like, okay, there's this kind of quiet.
Because everyone's socially distant
but
anyway.
there's this kind of quiet, like cool, like we're nailing this. The rest of the world is like, you know, showing how totally unprepared they are, and we're just quite calmly nailing this. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, but I have no idea what it's like in the rest of the world. That this just sort of feels almost normal, a little weird. You know, there's stripes on the ground in Penny, so you have to stand further apart. But I don't know. So.
Well, Jim. Well, there's something that I wanted to look into. So my flatmate Valentina was telling me that something about the euro bonds. Is it that Germany have not signed or something? It's kind of like the European Union helping the countries in crisis, and she seemed to suggest that it was a little bit like replay of Germany damaging Greece, you know, through their actions, like those few years back. I want to read into it, but she said that the sentiment in Italy, at least, is very anti-German for that reason right now. So I don't know. It could be a real challenge for the European Union, I think, to stick together, especially with Brexit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. So I shouldn't have said the B word. The C word was enough.
Okay, so sorry, I was just daydreaming for a second there. Is there anything that you guys want to recommend or promote, or anyone that you've heard of that could use a bit of love on Facebook? You know, like someone that's doing something interesting that people should check out, or stuff that you're doing. The B word. Oh yeah, that's Jesper's dad again. The B word, Brexit.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are doing it now, but I would definitely promote like at-home yoga and meditation. There's loads of like videos and stuff on YouTube. Quite a lot of people do this yoga with Adrian on YouTube. Find it helpful.
I'm a 5-part
Insight
yoga
Timer is also
myself.
good. What's that? I don't know.
Pretty good. She's in Costa Rica by her pool.
That's
it's
a good visual.
Sorry, Lewis, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No. I think you also said the Insight Timer is like also an app that you could that just has like a timer, and you can set a couple of like those gongs or bells or something. So you just say like 5 minutes with like a ding at the start, ding at the end. You know, it's quite a good thing just to like make a habit of it. Just having a silent moment, calm yourself down a bit. Don't forget to breathe.
Man. Like all of these things, like I know. It sounds very sort of whatever, like dopey or whatever. But this is a perfect time to learn to do that stuff. Learn to meditate and because the effects are very obvious in a situation like this. Like it's very easy just to swing from this proper background anxiety to just realizing this is out of our control. All we can do is play our little tiny little role in this by just staying at home, being sensible, and what will happen. But we have to just be calm in our method and our process. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's edition of this, because we've got a couple of old friends from England who I'm going to be chatting with, and one of whom is a amazing musician, kind of classical maestro, he's really upped his online presence in the last while. He did I don't know if you saw, he did one where he's playing with his nose, like he's playing like a duet on the piano, like left
Really?
2 hands here and then playing with his nose, and that kind of went a bit viral. It's amazing, like 200 or 300 shares on Facebook or something, which I was quite impressed at. But the other, that's Alex, and Phil is he's a hypnotherapist, and he really wants to come on and talk about taking care of anxiety and all that stuff at the moment.
You can hypnotize everyone.
Yeah,
I'd tune into that.
I mean, he's the last. I told this story before, but last time he hypnotized me was to stop smoking, and the Skype connection went down, and I was stuck in this like Inception style limbo. Yeah,
Like a cave.
I was convinced, and then I had a panic attack that night because I was just thinking, I'm still hypnotized. I know I am, and I can't get out.
You'll never
I can't.
get out.
I'm always going to be in this, like I'm just like trapped under the ice. You know, I can see everybody else walking around, but I'm just no one knows I'm down here. Yeah.
That's creepy. That could be a good short film subject.
I could see if he wants to do like a kind of mass hypnosis episode.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, you did a good job announcing that one. Like, you do a good connection, and definitely don't keep like.
God, he'll spawn a whole like city of zombies. Like all these, suddenly there's just all this like half awake. Anyway, Candice is saying yes. Sebastian Steins is saying big hugs.
Yeah, it's keep
And
it
now
real.
he's saying office space.
Office space.
Yeah.
Sam.
Well, the film.
No, just
the
office
film, you mean,
space.
or what?
Exclamation mark. Is that where you are, Lewis? Are you in your office?
No, I don't know.
No, I'm at home.
Candice
actually.
is saying yes. I'm wondering if she means yes to the mass hypnosis session. I mean, fuck, that would be a pretty powerful YouTube channel right now, wouldn't it? Just daily mass hypnosis.
Yeah.
Jesus.
When you like, is there a certain? I'm just wondering. I know nothing about hypnosis. Maybe that's a good tip for me to get into. Like, maybe that's a good input for me learning about hypnosis. But could you if you can stop smoking with hypnosis, I bet you can also sort of try to prime yourself a bit more in the direction of meditation and yoga and sort of a regular physical and mindful exercise or something.
It's the only time I've been No, actually, it's not true. I've been hypnotized a few times, but it was the only time that I felt really worked. And
Of course.
no, but I really felt that it was. This is like a mega deep meditation. That's just exactly what it felt like. It's somebody who's deliberately guiding you to relax in a way that you've never been relaxed before somehow, you know, like you're just so completely calm and open, you know. It's like you're just like a kind of you're switched off, but your mind is open, and he's just gonna kind of feed in positive stuff, which is gonna start kind of convincing you somehow. I don't know. He'll talk about it tomorrow. You'll have to tune in. But it's totally like it's totally linked to meditation, because I feel it when I do meditation. It's like, yeah, here I am again, starting to kind of go into this just stillness but awareness, and that's what's really nice when you're just very aware and but very calm and very trusting. You're believing in your own moment, your body. You're like, okay, I am here right now, but somehow it's kind of infinitely open as well. And God, I sound like a dick. I don't know what I'm talking about, so just ignore it.
I think it's one of these key words, actually, because if you're aware, you kind of feel prepared for reality or something. It's like when you don't rehearse for a show, you'll come up and maybe in between the songs, there's a certain anxiety of like, I need to say something, or you can feel the person is more nervous because they're not prepared, and awareness and mindfulness is sort of like maybe the equivalent of, rehearsing or being somewhat prepared for reality and using it more mindfully and kind of more calm, less anxious.
But it's also like those moments, and I'm sure you guys have had plenty of times, you're on stage playing the song, singing, and you suddenly just realize that you're actually just outside of you're just watching yourself do this stuff, and you're very calmly just there thinking, how do I know where the chords are next, and how do I know these words, because I'm really not connected to this at all right now. I'm just totally just watching this other person do this, and you just feel so completely like you're fully aware of everything that's taking place, but you're incredibly calm, and it's really like, I think that's like a pure like subconscious and conscious split moment or something, which I think it's all related. But again, I don't know what I'm talking about. Just to.
Yeah, I think it's like it's connecting. It's practice connecting to reality, isn't it? Somehow, I feel like when you're in that moment, like really aware, hyper aware moment, like on stage, when it happens like that, well, there can be an instance where you're sort of disconnected, and that's more like self-conscious sort of observer. But I think what you're talking about is more like actually just hyper awareness, which I also get more these days than I used to. But yeah, like really, you're just fully aware of everything, and it's like everything in slow motion. That's why you feel like you're
really
observing
amazing.
it somehow. You're actually just living in it,
I mean, that's the draw of some drugs. I feel like some drugs are faking that, and if you can make a habit of meditation and this sort of hyper-aware state, then there's a bigger chance of getting away from these things. I wonder how addicts are doing during this time, because I see myself, drinking away almost every day just because you're. There are people with problems out there, definitely. I wonder what they're doing with support groups and stuff. I mean,
it's probably a terrible time for a cokehead who just needs to be out and about. Like, it's not in GAC all the time. Yeah. Well, it's good. Probably good that they just stay at home, chill out a bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're still allowed to go, get your booze and then go home and be grumpy with your wife. So like it's so difficult.
That would be another amazing YouTube channel. Is just three guys on coke, just talking about how amazing they are. That would be great.
The coke loop. Yeah, it'd be good. 24/7 live stream. The coke loop.
Back to back hypnotherapy hour, and then followed by now we're going to cut to Berlin now, where there's a coke session going on. Let's try it.
Yeah, the pointlessness of it will be like displayed in plain sight, at least.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have to do some crowdfunding to raise the money to buy the coke, but I'll sort it out, and then we can find the participants. So, did you recommend anything yet? I can't remember.
I can recommend this. It's called White Tears from Hari Kundru plays in New York and is basically about Afro-American music history, but also the sort of exploitation of Afro-American music history through us whites, basically. But yeah, it's really well written. I haven't read so much, but I'm like up to 1/3, and it's really
Cool.
It's really interesting.
Can you hold it up again?
Yeah.
Sweet.
White Tears.
And what's on the cover there? What is that?
Yeah.
Cool.
That looks that's a drugstore on a broader street.
Nice, man.
Fine.
Can you send it to me in a message, and then I'll add it to the links below, as they say. Your dad's saying Meisterwerk. I guess he knows that book.
Yeah. You know what? My dad actually gave it to me, so
cool.
Shout out to my dad. Of course. And another one would be Kill Your Friends by John Niven. It's pretty gritty and fun, especially if you're a musician and you're hating on the industry, then it's definitely good food.
Yeah, send it over, man, and I'll put it in. What about you, Lewis?
Well, yeah, I thought I said yoga and
okay.
meditation. That was
yoga with Adrienne. Okay, that's it. I do subscribe to her. I just like Erin Sampson from 5 Parks Yoga. She's cool.
It's up. I'm gonna look at it. Look it up.
Putting this into the link. You putting this in the bio or link
on Facebook and YouTube. But I think maybe that's a good place to tie it up.
Oh.
We've been talking for an hour. We've had a lot of people. I mean, I think we've had like 20 people watching at one point, which is pretty good. So thank you. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll put these links in the thing below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. That would be amazing. Smash that
like button.
Smash the bell. They have to smash the little bell.
Right.
Yeah.
You like these kind of videos, Tell me what kind of counting you need. Yeah. All right, thank you guys. What's up? Next time. All right, peace out, guys.
Yeah, what are Matty and Peter up to these days in their isolation? We need to check on those guys.
Fuck. Yeah,
we need to start calling them by their first name so that it sounds like we're kind of part of the community.
In the community.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, thanks very much. When is the PDOA thing? Is it going to be released anyway, even without this gig?
Yeah, go over to our Instagram page is called PDOA Live, as in live concert. But and we'll post it on there. Obviously, we don't have a fixed release date yet, but
sometime soon.
So send me links and I'll put them in the thing. Thank you very much, guys. And
thank you, Robbie.
Yeah, you
nice
too.
Nice to see you.
All right. Well, I'll speak to you in the next few days, I guess.
Hope to see you in the flesh sometime soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're allowed to meet sort of at a distance one other person, right? I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix my bike. So yeah, I'll come and see one of you at a time. I'm actually going to be interviewed this afternoon by who is it? It's the European. It's what are they called? Let me see now. Just checking my thing. It's here. It's the European Parliament. Actually, maybe Jesper, maybe you want to do this, and Lewis, I should put you in touch They're basically looking for artists to interview about how this is all affecting the artist community, so that they can campaign to get more support, etc., etc. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to be interviewed at 4:00. I don't know if it will be going out live, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'll let you know. Cool.
Okay, yeah, let us know.
And could you send me also that link about the birch
Yeah,
ply and
sorry.
your
That's what I
wood?
was, yeah, they're called Scandinavian holts.
Okay. Well, that's good enough. Thank you. Perfect. I'll check if they're still
What do
working.
you need anyway?
Shoe shelf, and I made a little bench out of Europe pallets, paletten. I don't know how you. And I want a little deck for that, and a little storage thing for the balcony for the ugly stuff.
Nice, man.
The vacuum
Well,
stuff.
let me know if I can remotely help. Cool.
Okay, cool. Well, somehow you are distorting now, and there's a fuzz on your voice, so maybe a good hectic point to cut it off. A ver,